deliver your dreams.
Lee, this is the best day ever.
Hey guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lou. Coming to you live from Accelerate Life University, XLR8Life.com. Coach Lou will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the motivation, the energy, the life, and all the success you really want and deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lou.
It's Monday morning, guys. Monday morning. Remember last week we said no one's coming to save you? No one's coming to save you. What does that mean? That means you're responsible for it. You're responsible for who? You. So what did you do about that? We talked about making a decision, right? Did you make that decision last week? If you didn't, or if you made the decision and you didn't do anything with it, that's just a delusion. Okay. What do you think of that? Let's hear it in the chats. Call in this morning, guys, 305-224-1968. Show ID number is, bear with me a second here. That's the part I have cut off on one of my screens. Show ID is 856-1321-5775 hash key. Call in, talk to me this morning. Like to know, what did you do with that decision last week? Did you do anything with it? Did you make a decision? Did you even make the decision? And then did you follow up with the decision? That is the question. You can use any of the chats on any of the platforms. Guys, got them all open this morning. So what did we learn last week? We learned that nothing happens without a decision. What did we learn? Decision means to cut off from any other possibilities. You decide this is what I'm doing, period. Doesn't mean you don't adjust along the route. It just literally means that this is your decision. If you say, I am going to lose 10 pounds, you don't stop until you do. And preferably, you don't stop a lot of those good habits you designed on the way anyways. But that is making a decision, cutting off from the old thing. If you're stopping smoking, for instance, you don't go, well, I'm going to stop Monday or I'm going to cut down. You cut out the BS and you just simply go, I don't smoke. I'm a non-smoker, right? Okay, we've all been in that boat of doing something where we didn't exactly follow through. I'd say quite a few times. Okay, listen, I'm going to do this show from a very loving place, guys. I want to help you out, okay? But I'm going to call you out. And I don't want you to feel shameful if you didn't take action from last week, but I do want you to, realize that there are no excuses and we're going to step it up. We're going to do something. We're going to put this in gear. And if you did make a decision last week and you started taking action, we're going to accommodate you too, because we're going to get you to the next level. All right. So are you going to call in, guys? Let's get a caller in this morning. 305-224-1968. Show ID 856-1321-5775 hash. That's all over the place, guys. So, get it in. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and push that on the screen for you. Yep, we're going to cut off my forehead. How nice. I look like I'm bald. All right, there we go. Yep. So there it is on your screen live. Okay, awesome, guys. All right, so let me ask you a question. What was your decision from last week? Do you remember? Did you make a decision when we finished up the show? If you didn't, get ready to make one today. What was that decision? When did you make it? During the show? After the show? While we're on the show? Did we not make it at all? Okay. And then when you made that decision, did you take the 5-second action rule? What? Oh, well, I decided on Monday I'm going to start losing weight. Did you lose any weight today? All right. See, this is why I'm calling you out a little bit today, guys. Because the truth is if you had started last Monday and didn't wait till this Monday, you'd already lost some weight. You'd already made some more money. You'd already made progress on that course. You'd have already made progress in your personal life. Whatever it is that decision is, you'd have made progress. So if you took action in the first 5 seconds, kudos, bueno, bien, awesome. If you didn't, what happened on second 6? It started to wane by 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds. I'll get to it next week. I know how this stuff works, guys. Been there, done that, walked down the path. Okay. I didn't become a coach by going to school and going, oh, it's all perfect. Okay. Just like a brain surgeon doesn't become a brain surgeon by going to school. They do it by going to school and then going and practicing. Okay. And not everybody does everything right every single time. Okay. Call-in numbers are on the screen right here. Yep. Right there, guys. Call in. Talk to me this morning. All right. So what action did you take? Okay. People don't really fail because they're dumb. They can't get it. They don't understand. They're slow learners. Okay. Everybody's got something in life that might not be as advantageous as something somebody else has. We're not here to compare. But most people don't fail because they're dumb or stupid or, they can't learn. No. They fail because they hesitate. Okay. Their brain sells them on the S word, safety. Well, if you don't try, you can't fail. If you don't jump, you can't fall. Okay. I mean, these are things, seriously. If you don't go up to that person and talk to them, you can't be rejected. Okay. But that's a life of mediocrity at best, or a life of nothing. Okay. So did you take action or did you research to feel productive? Now, here is the thing. Do I want you to learn and grow? And yeah, because that's what you're doing here with me today, right? You're here doing some research, some recon. What can I learn? What can I learn and put into play? Oh, yeah, put into play. That's the reality. Okay. Let me give you some examples of this fake action, this research. You rewrote the plan you rewrote 25 times before, whether it's weight loss, getting in a relationship, getting out of a relationship, starting a business, getting out of a business. He took the same plan and rewrote it again. All right, we got to recreate this, Okay, we didn't sell the business last year. Okay, or the business wasn't profitable last year, so let's rewrite the plan. Okay, well, maybe you do need to adjust some things, but did you take any action on what you rewrote the plan already? Well, I spent the whole week, replanning everything, coach. The whole week since last Monday, you've not taken any action. I'm calling BS. You got to get in and do the action. I watched another one of your videos, coach. I got so excited. I binge watched Coach Lou Breakthrough all weekend. Okay, awesome. What'd you do with that? I mean, I'd be honored if you binge watch me all weekend. I'd love that. I'd love to hear that. I love when I run into somebody in the grocery store and they're like, I watched your video on this and oh my God, I did that. And it helped me to this. And then there's the other people that, oh, I love what you say. You're a little radical though. I'm not that kind of person to do that. Well, why are you watching then? If you're not going to put it to use, I mean, I know you're not going to put every single thing to use. We're all different, but you watch another video. Okay. And I've been guilty of this in my life too. I love my YouTube videos in the morning. When I'm getting ready doing my morning routine, I love to have something awesome on. Okay. I'm watching something good all the time, something nourishing. In the evening, my YouTube videos sometimes are something a little more relaxing, some music or something like that. But I love my YouTube, but just watching a video isn't going to change it. I'm waiting for Monday. Well, which Breakthrough with Lou show are you actually going to break through on? I'm just getting ready. Stop it, coach. I need to be prepared. Okay. Imperfect action trumps no action any day. And you might say, no. If I take the wrong action, I might stub my toe. I might fall. I might not get some. Oh, that is true. If you take no action, nothing happens. If you make a mistake, you learn, you grow, we carry forward. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. And it's not about me proving I'm right. You know in your gut, you're never going to be ready. Okay, I remember when Lexi was born. I wasn't ready. I was never ready. You're never ready to be a parent, no matter how much you plan. And, oh, yes, we're going to do a gender reveal party and we're going to paint the baby's room and set it all up before all of a sudden that baby shows up and your first baby, you're like, holy, what do I do? Oh my God, does this little critter break? Oh my God, what kind of cry is that? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But you know what? Amazingly enough, most children grow up and become adults because even if we didn't think we knew what to do, we did. We learned. We learned on the fly. You didn't say put the kid back until we can figure it out. Okay? Yeah, kids are an amazing, absolutely amazing example of this. How many people were total F-ups in their lives until they had kids and all of a sudden they seemed to pull it all together and become successful and, you know, they couldn't take care of themselves, let alone anything else. And then they had a kid. You know, all of a sudden they're, you know, got this great, they're great parents. And use that as an example. You know, make your decision your kid. Okay. Treat it like you would your child. Oh, I can't let it down. I can't leave it be. I can't, you know, trade the kid in because I want a different kid or I screwed up and, you know, let's start over. Treat your decisions like they're your kids. All right. What's an example of real action? Picking up the phone, calling somebody. Texting, half an action. But if you got something that's important that you've been putting off, pick the phone up, call that person today when we get done with this show, or turn me off and call them. If there's something that's that pressing, do it right now. I won't be offended if you took action. You get back on and you tell me, I made that call, coach. I'll be like, yes, JFDI. Book that appointment. Maybe you got a health thing going on and you need to get some testing done, but you're a little scared. You know, you don't like the test. Yeah, let me tell you something. Nobody likes medical tests, I don't think. But, you know, could save your life by taking action, right? Paying for the thing. Dun, 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 dun. I've been thinking about taking this course. I've been thinking about flying out and taking this seminar. I've been thinking about buying a new software. I've been thinking about joining a mastermind. I've been thinking about joining Click. Well, pay for it. The minute you pay for it, you're going to use it. If you're trying to always scrape the free in life, let me tell you something. Been there, done that myself. You know, Tony Dean events, Tony Robbins Dean, you know, back years ago, I was like, oh, yeah, I like these free events. But they take you a little bit, and that's it. You know, it's like, okay, now what? The minute I paid for a course, I was dedicated. I showed up for the meetings. I was on board. I was prepared, this, that, and the other. Pay for the thing. Lock it in. Okay, it's like people that, well, I jump AIs left, right, and center because, you know, I use up my limit on this one, then I jump to that one, then I jump to that one, and I use this free software, and I have half my email list on a half of a free software and half on another. And, you know, I use ClickUp on the free version. It's not that great, you know, compared to what you have, Coach, but I don't pay that couple $100 a year. Really? So free, not that great. Amazing, couple $100 a year. Baby, I'm in. Couple $100 a year. I'm going to figure it out. You know, we'll talk about ClickUp, guys. It's great, absolutely great application. But my whole point to this is if you're going to do it, it's like a vacation or like a concert. I learned that. You know, if you don't click the button and buy that ticket where you want to be sitting, and you go, I'll get to it tomorrow. Tomorrow, you're 12 rows back. Next day, you're 20 rows back. Next day, you're like, we're a few years ago to go see Billy Joel in the very last row because I waited to buy that thing. Okay, see where I'm going? Post the offer. Well, my course isn't ready to sell, coach. Okay, well, post the offer. See if you even have interest. Because you know what? In the case of like a course or a mastermind or something, if you're doing something like that, hey, by the time you get to week 7, you've had 7 weeks to pull that off. If you got the framework ready to go, boom, post the offer, get it out there. Getting up when the alarm hits. I hit snooze 3 times in the morning. Why in the do you set your alarm for 5 a.m. if you're not getting up till 5:45 anyway? Well, because, I got to hit snooze 3 times. Well, you absolutely terrorize your body and your sleep cycles when you do that. Okay, that's horrendous for you physically, emotionally, mentally to hit the snooze button. I am so anti-snooze button, it is not even funny, guys. But my point to it is, if you're going to get up at 5:45, set the effing alarm for 5:45 and get up at 5:45. If you're going to set the alarm for 5, it goes off, say your prayer, say your gratitude, however you call it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, roll your butt out of bed. Get moving. Don't. Well, I set my alarm for 5 like it's some pat on the back, but you don't crawl out of bed till 5:45, 6 o'clock. I don't respect that. I'm sorry, and nor should you respect that out of yourself. You're like, whoa, you're kind of tough this morning. Well, yeah. I mean, and nobody, your boss don't care that you set your alarm for 5. Your boss cares if you're the type of person who lives up to your commitments. That's what they care about. Oh, I've been up since this. And wearing that badge of courage of how many hours you put in today is another one that after a while really wears itself out. Nobody cares. They care about the results. How about I normally don't say be like everyone else, but how about you start getting like everyone else? Let's focus on results when it comes to what we hold ourselves to a standard of. Let's focus on our results, not wearing a badge of courage. I only sleep 6 hours a night. Yeah, I know. This human tells me you would be so much healthier if you slept more. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. But I've been sleeping more than before. And sleep and rest and recovery is important. You can't hard drive 24/7. And it's hard for me to swallow that pill. But, the thing is something like this keeps me accountable. Don't forget to weigh in today. Don't forget to check your body comp. Your sleep was off, or hey, good job, you got good sleep. And sometimes I'll look at it in the morning and go, I can feel that. I can feel that I had a better night's sleep. And that's always been a battle of mine, is the sleeping. I guess I love life enough and have enough going on that I don't really plan for enough rest and sleep. And working on that, though. See, taking action on that. I've started really setting a shut-off time at night. It's still later than most people's shut-off time, but it had to happen. I can't be at the computer at midnight, not productive at midnight, trying to knock out something for the next day. Get that stuff done before 8 p.m., preferably, or 9, as in some cases. So the cool thing is action is measurable. That is something you can measure. Okay. If you can't measure it, it's probably a story, probably a BS story. All right. You see where I'm going with this? Okay. See, and here's an important thing to talk about. Why? Why are you doing it? What is your why that you are tying to what it is that you decided or you think you should decide to do? Whether you decided last week and followed through, whether you just decided and didn't follow through, or whether you think you should make a decision. Why? What is your why? Life Boost Coffee, guys. Check out the links on the site. The best, cleanest, healthiest, most delicious dang coffee in the world. I'm an affiliate of theirs. That's how much I love them. So, definitely use my links when you order. All right. So if you took action, what was your why? Why'd you take action? If you didn't, what was your BS story? Or technically, why didn't you take action? Okay. So, what are you tying this decision we've been talking about? I think by now, hopefully, you have this decision in mind. Is it tied to your family? Is it something that your outcome is, your why is to do with your family, your kids, your spouse, your partner, your identity, who you're becoming, your faith? What is this why? Okay. And is your why strong enough to pull you through discomfort, discord, pushback, the toughest, darkest hours of the day? Is your why strong enough to pull you through that? And is the pain of not getting your why strong enough to push you through that? Ooh, okay. So here's the deal. If your why is weak, your excuses are really loud. Well, I can't do that because the economy, diesel's $5.60 a gallon. No kidding, Sherlock. I get diesel 2 times a week. I do a lot of driving. Yeah, I am not excited about that, but I don't sit there and go, well, I can't continue to do business. I'm not going to come service my contract because diesel's $5.60 a gallon. I'm not going to skip going to the grocery store because diesel's $5.60 a gallon. Is it annoying? Yeah. Does it need to come the heck down? Yeah. But, okay, some people, that excuse gets really loud. Well, I'm not going to go, we're not going to go on Sunday to the beach because diesel's $5.60 a gallon. And when you realize you're only using 4 or 5 gallons, and you go, okay, that's the difference between maybe $16 or $17 last year or less, or 25. And you're not going to take your family to the beach on Sunday because diesel's $5.60 a gallon or gas is $3.99. Okay, that's weak. If you go, you know what? I'm going to make sure I sell a couple more products on my little website this week so that I have no problem taking my family to the beach this weekend and having a good time, and I don't worry about the cost of diesel or the cost of having a meal with my family. Now that is a strong why, because I don't want to miss out on my kids. They're going to grow fast. I may as well be there, whatever. Strong why. Okay. You might go, well, I'm not going to the beach with the family this weekend because it's going to cost too much or something. But let me tell you something. If your child was in the emergency room somewhere by the beach in a life-threatening situation, you'd figure it out, wouldn't you? Because your why would be strong. Pick a powerful why. That's the message right there. Okay? Well, the flip side to this is the BS excuse, your old story, okay? If you didn't act on that decision last week, what was the excuse? Well, I didn't have time to get to it last week. Something broke, this, that, the other. Employee didn't show up. I didn't have enough money. Account didn't pay. Diesel's $5.60 a gallon. All right, what's your real excuse? Okay. The I don't have time always picks it up. Okay. You know how many hours there are in a week? A lot of them, guys. You know how many hours you waste scrolling, watching TV, bitching and moaning? I mean, there's a lot of extra hours if you got rid of a couple bad habits. I'm too tired. Okay. At some point, you're too tired, but I highly doubt that's after an 8-hour workday. If you work 8 hours and you go, oh, I can't, I'm crushed, you need to start taking better care of your body and eating cleaner, and or you're doing something really crazy for 8 hours a day. Okay, if you're running marathons 8 hours a day, you have a right to say, I'm too tired. If you're sitting at a desk typing and answering a phone all day, 8 hours, you shouldn't be too tired to get this decision handled. Okay, I need to think more about it. How much you need to think about it? Well, what if? What if what? And one thing for sure, I'm going to give you one way to guarantee that nothing happens, and that's take no action on your decision. Okay, you don't really need to think about it. You need to get your feet moving. You need to get moving. Walk. If you can think all day long about walking across the street until your feet start moving, you ain't getting across the street. Okay. I don't have the money. Well, let me tell you something. You're going to have less money next year if you don't start making some decisions and taking some action. It'd be worse. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If everybody waited till they had the money, nothing would ever happen because, wouldn't have kids because those little buggers are expensive. You wouldn't open a business because you'd always feel like, well, I don't have enough money in reserve. Well, then you'll never have enough money in reserve because you never open a business and you'll be stuck in your dead end job. Okay. And you might go, well, my job isn't dead end. I like my job. That's okay. But you still should have a side hustle. Even if you love your job and you're making good money, you still should have something of your own going on. I don't know enough yet. I got to take another course. Okay. This is one of the most dependent things I see happen. And a lot of people in our space, motivation, self-help, and that, they know exactly how to prey on you for this one. And I'm not saying they're bad or that you're giving inferior stuff, but they don't want you to leave their ecosystem. Okay. Let's get that one really clear. When you leave their ecosystem, their income stops. Now, I highly suggest you learn from that and you build an ecosystem in your business that you keep people in, but make sure you're delivering in the process. But you have more to learn. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What if I fail? Okay. What if you fail? Colonel Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken failed in life. He was a friggin' flunky till he was in his 60s. Okay. So what if you fail? Gates, all of them failed at one point. Steve Jobs got fired from his own company for a while. Okay. You know a name like Steve Jobs, but you don't know Joe Blow, who, worked for the same company, retired, and, died 6 months later because he worked himself into the grave and had 6 months of retirement. You don't know Joe because he never stepped out. You know Steve Jobs because he train wrecked a few times, failed. There it is, the F word. He failed. Oh my God, I failed a few times at things. Well, maybe. No. Yeah, seriously. Okay. Real estate crash of 2008. That's one of my epic fails of the world. Yeah, I was too hard-headed to listen to anybody about what was coming. I was going to weather the storm. I didn't weather the storm so well, but I didn't stop living. I remember one of my business partners at the time said to me, "Don't you realize what you lost? What's the matter with you? You're so happy." And I'm like, well, I still have an opportunity to rebuild. Yeah, I got my butt kicked. I learned a lesson. But so kids healthy, life is good, I'm healthy, got an opportunity, grow back. And that's the thing. Failure is a learning experience. I remember saying, it's a lesson learned. And it was like, yeah, it's a lesson learned. It was my Harvard education 3 times over. Probably could have gone to Harvard 3 or 4 times from the ass kicking I took in '08. But whatever. I wouldn't be here with you now if that hadn't happened. Okay? God knows what would happen. What if people judge me? Oh, I'm going to take this different path. What if people, say, oh, you should get a good job, have a good retirement, work hard, and climb the corporate ladder and retire with a good pension. Okay, well, that's a 1950s dream, But, people would judge people. Oh my God, that Bill Gates, and I have no love for Bill Gates. I can tell you that much. He is a flake. But, when he was in his garage building a computer, people were like, go get a job, dude. Yeah, if he had gone and gotten a job, you wouldn't know his name. Okay. Sorry, I'm calling him a flake. If you love him, you love him. But he's gonzo. He's way out of line with what he thinks he could talk about. But anyway, what if people judge me? Well, that means you're making an impact. If nobody judges you and nobody knows you existed in this world, Was life worth living? That one stings, doesn't it? All right. So, what is the excuse you've been protecting? Well, I'm comfortable the way I am. Okay. Well, that's great. You can be comfortable in mediocrity forever. Don't want to hurt my ego. If I try something, and I'm really good at my job, but I don't know if I'd be really good at a business. Okay. I like to avoid rejection. People don't like being rejected. Well, if you're never rejected, you're not pushing the edge. You're not growing. Avoid responsibility. That's just too much right now. Well, if it's too much right now, it's certainly going to be too much tomorrow. Throw in the towel, live a life of mediocrity. I don't think that's what you're looking for. Not if you're on this show. Your story isn't true, guys. Maybe parts are. It's familiar. Ooh, burn. Yeah. The story you live by. That this happened to me 10 years ago, 20 years ago. My childhood was this. My accident. Oh my God. And this is, and by people sound kind of cold with this, coach. Some people have had, automobile accidents or an injury, and that becomes who they are. Before my accident or because of my accident. And it's like, when did this happen? 10 years ago. And you're still living it like it was yesterday. My heart goes out to people who've had, were perfectly in good shape and lost their ability to walk because of an accident. I mean, that's not something you go, oh, get over it. But it is something that you have to get over if you're going to have the life you want. See, that's the thing. It's not for me to tell you get over it. It's for yourself to go, I got to get over this. I've met people that have had horrific scarring and injuries like that. And it's like, well, if, my face hadn't gotten smashed or sliced up, well, the problem is it did. And you got to learn how to live around that. And that's the hardest part. It sounds cold. And people are like, ooh, coaching is supposed to be warm and empathetic and ooh, googly googly. No, it's supposed to be effective. Okay. So if you did act and you took and made a decision, call in. Let's hear it. What worked? What didn't work? What'd you have to adjust? What's your next step? Where are we going from here? What if you doubled down on the decision and the action you did last week? And if you got a good response already, and what needs adjusting? Keep these lists, guys. It isn't that you say, I'm going to do this every single day and then find out something could be adjusted and work better. You adjust and work better. You just don't change your mind all the time. You don't change your mind on the main thing. I've heard it put so many times that those who are quick to make a decision and slow to change the decision are generally more successful than those who take a long time to make a decision but very quick to change their path of action. And I've seen this time and time again. Make the decision, start learning, put it in effort, put in the effort, put it in action. Okay. I got a challenge for you guys. I'm going to cut you loose. It's been a little bit of a long show this morning. Still time to call in, 305-224-1968, show ID 856-1321-5775, hashtag. All right. So do one thing this week that scares you or makes you uncomfortable. Say, what? I got enough on my plate. Well, do this and you'll find the rest of the stuff on your plate gets easier. Okay, here's the rules. It's got to be very specific. It has to be measurable, and it has to be done before next Monday. Okay. What's the example? Make a sales call that you normally wouldn't make. Reach out to somebody you're afraid to talk to, or you think, oh, they're so much further ahead than me. Why would they want to talk to me? Make that damn call. Win, lose, or draw. Okay. Post the offer. Put that offer out there to get your business rolling. Ask somebody for help that you've needed help from. Book the doctor's appointment. Okay. If you're not sure what that little growth on your skin is and it's bugging you and you're worried about it, book the damn appointment. Go find out. If it's got to get cut off, it's got to get cut off. If it's nothing, you're going to walk out of there and go, oh, wow, that was nothing. But in the meantime, it's eating at your brain. taking your mental energy. Start the workout. Go show up at the gym. Well, I don't like the gym. I don't know what to do, and people are going to judge me. No, they're not. They could care less what you're doing. They really could. Nobody's looking at you in the gym going, oh, that idiot doesn't know what they're doing. Anything, if you're way out of shape or something, you're going in the gym and you're starting, if anybody happens to even notice, which most people are not noticing everybody in the gym and they're there to do the workout, the one thing you might find is in their brain is, wow, I give that person credit, because somebody else would use an excuse that they don't know what they're doing, or this, that, or I got to do this first, or I got to go on a diet first. No, this person's doing it. Kudos. Okay. Have the hard conversation. Do you have a problem with a boss? Do you have a problem with a coworker? Do you have a problem? One of your kids is on drugs. Maybe it's your spouse you got to have a conversation with. Have that conversation. Get it out on the table. Apply for that job, that dream job. Start that business. Here's your mantra. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, JFDI. I don't think I need to explain JFDI to you. Just do it. You fill in the blanks. Just do it. Okay? So call, message, comment in the post. What decision did you make? What action did you take? What was your why? Or if you didn't, what was your excuse? Hey, listen up, guys. You might be going, I thought Jack Clifford was going to be on the show today. Jack's on an airplane this morning, so we had to reschedule him to September 10th. We will have Jack Clifford on September 10th. If you know anybody, or if you do, a loved one does, that has any cardiac issues, you need to be on that. It's not something, we're not selling anything. We're not selling a supplement or a miracle cure. He's got an FDA-approved treatment that saved his life. He wants to share this with you. I think it is show worthy because they say alternative treatment, but it's fully FDA approved. Just nobody's talking about it. And we need to get the word out so that people have options. Okay. So make sure you're on that show. Nobody's going to sell you anything. It's not a supplement we're promoting or anything else. It's going to be powerful, magically powerful. So guys, what are we going to do? If you haven't made the decision yet, make it. If you did, take it to the next level. Make your movement. Get moving. Start walking. Start picking up the phone. Start doing what you said you're going to do with that decision. Protect that decision like it's your kid. Okay? Protect that decision like it's your child. You'd give your life for your child, wouldn't you? At least I'd hope so. Do one uncomfortable thing this week. That is your challenge. I want it in the comments. I want to know what you did. Okay, I already did mine yesterday, or maybe we could say that was last week's. Went to a yoga class. I've been saying, I'm going to go do a yoga class. I'm going to go do a yoga class. I finally was like, and I was coming up with every excuse. I hurt my hand. I hurt my leg. I don't have time. I was like, I'm just freaking going. Win, lose, draw, whatever. I don't know if I'm going to be, able to keep up with the class, do better than the class. I don't know. I was like, I'm going. I did it. Loved it. It was amazing. Amazing day. It's just on so many levels. It was amazing. So do something uncomfortable this week. Now I got to pick something else uncomfortable to do, but do this challenge with me, guys. All right. Comment on your commitment. If you're watching a replay, drop some comments, the decision, your action, and why you're doing it. And let's get ready to rock, guys. Are we ready? Let's put this in action this week. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Live with faith, energy, passion. Always live your dreams. It's Coach Lou signing off.
Ready to take it to the next level?
Next level.
Tune in to XLR8Life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lou himself. As Coach Lou always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dreams.